Hi, Sarah from Stitchtastic here. Today we're going to mount a small piece of stitching into an acrylic coaster as an alternative way of displaying your stitching. This is a small design from Bothy Threads, which they make as a card design, but I've been asked by one of my friends to put it into a coaster so that she can give it to her son's teacher, who's done a brilliant job with him this year. Well done, Mrs. Smith. So I'm going to show you how we put a small design like this into an acrylic coaster in this case. You can also use glass coasters, but we've decided, because we're hoping she's going to use it in the classroom, an acrylic coaster would be best. This is the acrylic coaster that I'm going to use for our design today. This is one of our square acrylic coasters. They come in packs of 10, 25, 50, 100 and 200. So first of all, I'll show you how this coaster would arrive to you. So it's wrapped in a bag. There are two parts to the coaster. When I open up the bag, you'll see. We've got the back and the front. Don't put these together until you are actually ready with your stitching inside the coaster, because otherwise you won't get them apart again. When they're packaged for you, we put the back on the top with the legs facing upwards so they don't scratch the corners of the coaster and they can't get stuck together whilst they're in the post. So first of all, I'm going to take the front of the coaster and make sure my design fits in it, because that's a mistake that a lot of people make, just to make sure that the design fits within the size of the coaster that you've got to mount it in. And yeah, that one fits perfectly. As you can see at the moment, I've got too much fabric around the edge of it, so I'm going to go away and trim those edges now, and then come back and show you how to put the coaster into, sorry, the design into the coaster. Three things here that I need to make my coaster. I've got the coaster front, a piece of square card and my design itself. Now what I've done, I've made the card the right size to fit inside the coaster. Just perfectly fit. A tiny bit of give, just a few, well, maybe 1 millimetre give there so it fits in. Try and get that out again. And then I've trimmed my design down. I'm going to put the card over the top of the design, turn it over so that I can see the card around the edges through the fabric, and then on the back of the fabric with a pencil I'm just going to very carefully, just gently mark on the corners of the card, which in turn will be the corners of the coaster. And then I'm going to go off and cut a square using those corners, just using my roller cutter. That's this here. It just means that I can start wherever I want to, and it's a nice clean cut. It's not like using a pair of scissors where you can wobble a bit. This is a nice clean cut. So I'm going to go and cut that down now, and then I'll show you how to put it into the coaster. Here's our trimmed design ready to go inside the coaster. As you can see on the back, I've trimmed it to where those pencil marks were, just very slightly. You can see one of them there where I was just slightly inside where I needed to be. It doesn't matter because it's on the inside of the stitching. So we take the front of the coaster, turn it over, put the design inside it. Now you could leave it at that. Some people like to put their piece of backing card on top of it so you don't see the back of the stitching if you turn the coaster over. It really doesn't matter. There should be room for it, and it's entirely up to you. It's your choice. Then take the back of the coaster, place it into the central part of the front. Now once this is in, it's in. It's not coming out. So I'm just going to very carefully, before I push it in, turn it over and make sure I'm happy with the coaster. Yep, that looks good. And then I'm going to push it in nice and firmly until I hear it click. Give it a few goes down so that all the sides are down. There we go, that was a nice big click there. And I can feel now that there's no give on any of those sides. They're all well and truly in. And there we are. We've got our finished coaster for Mrs. Smith. Hope she enjoys her cup of tea while she has a new class in September. And thank you very much to her for helping my friend's son. Coasters are available at stitchtastic.com. We also have round coasters and glass ones too.